What's up everybody, today I'll be reviewing the Post, Rookie, and Respawnables. This weapon is a zombie tagged bullet based scoped assault weapon which you unlock at level 1 and it costs 150 zombie knights. As you can see, the weapon's main stats are 3 damage, 3 range, 2 accuracy, and 3 agility. I'll also be covering some of the other stats of this weapon in this review, so without further ado, let's jump into the first match. In this review, I'll be using a Pocket Gamer article which contains some exclusive information about some of the stats of this weapon given to them by Digital Legends. The stats mentioned in the article are damage, rate of fire, range, ammo, and reload time. So let's start off with the ammo capacity. This weapon boasts 47 rounds in the clip, and this is actually, to my knowledge, the most amount of rounds for a scoped weapon in the game, and it is also, to my knowledge, the 7th most amount of rounds for an assault weapon in the game. And just in case you're wondering about those other assault weapons that carry more ammo in the clip, here are all of them as of the recording of this video. So let's continue with the damage, which comes in at 12. And that means that you'll kill a player with no additional health in 9 rounds. But of course, with most players in the game, you'll probably end up putting a lot more rounds into them before you've killed them. And this weapon, just like a lot of other weapons in the game, has damage drop off. So the further an enemy is away from you, the less damage you'll deal to them. The weapon's range, according to the article, is 25 meters, and this is actually the same distance that is required to get a long-range kill. However, I've actually found this weapon to shoot a lot further than only 25 meters. So the weapon is definitely capable of reaching enemies that are very far away from you. Moving on, the post-rookie's accuracy is very good, and also the precision is pretty good. Now do keep in mind that just like a lot of other weapons in the game, this weapon does have a reduction in accuracy while moving. The gun also comes equipped with a scope, and just like with most scoped weapons in the game, the post-rookie scope increases the accuracy and precision of the weapon by a noticeable amount. The design of the scope is the green design, and the zoom or magnification level is level 3. With most scopes, the auto-aim level while scoped in is different than the one while scoped out. However, with this weapon, the auto-aim level seems to be about the same and makes it very difficult to get headshots while scoped in. Your agility while using the post-rookie is pretty good. It only took about 11.5 seconds to reach from one side of Royal Garden to the other, which is my speed or agility test. Now on to the fiery, which according to the article is 12 rounds per second. However, I found this to be a little bit less at only about 10.3 rounds per second, which is still a very fast fire rate. And with this fire rate, it will take you about 4.5 seconds to empty your entire 47 round clip. To kill the enemy that had no additional health, which again that took 9 rounds, that will take you about 0.87 seconds. So probably with most enemies, you'll be shooting them for a little over a second before you've killed them, which is still a very good killing rate. The weapon's reload speed is also very good. Now the article says that the weapon's reload time is 1.61 seconds, which is already very short, but I've actually found it to be a little bit shorter at only about 1.3 seconds, and that is very short, especially for the amount of rounds that this weapon carries in the clip. And lastly, the weapon's velocity is an instant hit, so you don't have to worry about having to shoot ahead of the enemy to make sure that that round will hit that target. Just make sure that your crosshairs are on them, and pretty much every single round should be able to hit them. And that is the overview of pretty much all of this weapon's stats. Now, as you can see here in this first match, we are playing with a bunch of noobs, and I am just destroying all of these players. There really is no challenge for me to be able to compete with them, and that's obviously because my weapon is just so much more powerful than theirs. But do keep in mind that the vast majority of matches will not be with these types of players. I mean, I think I've only died once in this match so far, and that was against a post-heavy skull user who left immediately afterwards. But you know, if you're playing with players that are using weapons that are that overpowered and you still want to use this weapon, I suggest you buff it or maybe use an overpowered gadget in order to beat them. And it looks like we finished this first match and we got 29 kills and 1 death, which is an excellent score, but do keep in mind that again it was against new players, so it's not terribly impressive. So now for the second match, we're in Snow Village. In the last one, we were in Atom Drone Secret Base. Both maps are sort of mid-range maps. However, I consider Snow Village a little bit more of a traditional mid-range map. And I think that the post rookie is best used in maps like Atom Drome, Secret Base, Snow Village, etc. because you want to keep some distance from the close range weapons. And it is also not a bad choice for long range maps, however you do need to keep in mind because of that damage drop off that the weapon has, your damage at those distances does become fairly weak. But you know, maybe in between mid range and long range, mid-long range, is where I think the weapon is best used at, so your damage drop off does not affect the weapon too much. And as you've probably seen already, in this match we're using different equipment. In the last one we were using noob clothes and we weren't using any masteries. This time we're using much better clothes and we also have the masteries equipped. So for the head we are using the aggressive carnival mask, which gives us a 5% damage increase. Then for the body we are using the stuntman jacket, and that gives us a short damage boost each time we receive damage. The boost is about a 100% damage increase and lasts for about 3 seconds. And then lastly for the legs we are using the Celtic pants, which gives us another damage increase. However, with this one I'm unaware of how much it actually increases, but if you do know it, please let me know with some proof in the comments. And as I already said, we're also using the masteries, so we're using Burning Spirit 1, which gives us a 50% accuracy increase while moving, further increasing this weapon's already very good accuracy and precision. We are also using Burning Spirit 2, which increases our reload speed by 25% while moving, and that brings the reload speed from about 1.3 seconds to about 0.93 seconds. Now we're also using Burning Spirit 3, which increases our rate of fire by 25% while moving. However, I found no rate of fire increase while using this with the post rookie, so hopefully Digital Legends fixes this in a future update. We're also using Glass Cannon, which gives us another 100% damage increase. And then finally, we're also using Zombie Bull, which isn't really a buff to the weapon, but it does give our health back that Glass Cannon takes away. But Zombie Bull does take away our automatic regeneration, so when you're using it, it might be a smart idea to equip the medikits so you can heal yourself once you're damaged. That way you can stay alive. And sadly I didn't do that this match, that's why I died more than I would have wanted. Now of course, this is just what I'm using to buff this weapon, and I'm not saying that this is the best buff for it, but you can obviously use whatever you want. You don't have to strictly follow my outfit and the masteries that I'm using. Now let's get into some tips. The first tip that I have for you guys is kind of a simple one, but it is to not reload as much as you usually would with other weapons. And that is because you can easily kill up to 3 enemies without having to think about reloading this thing. And tip number 2, another fairly simple one. This weapon is good, but it's not that good. So when you're going up against players with much better weapons, try to use cover to your advantage. What do I mean by that? Try to get behind a wall or an object where they can shoot through, so that way they're unable to hit you. Then you pop out behind that wall or object, you get a couple shots on them, then you get behind that wall or object again, you do that over and over. You might think that that is a newbie thing to do because you're not facing that player head on, because you know you'll die. But that's exactly right, you know you'll die, not because you have less skill than that player, you probably have more skill, but because your weapon isn't as strong as theirs. So it's not a newbie thing to do, it's just a smart thing to do. And as you've probably seen already, in this match there are a lot more enemies with better weapons compared to the last one. In the last match we got 29 kills and 1 death, so let's see what our score is now. And we got 38 kills, 7 deaths, that's a really great score. So now I'll give you my final opinion about the post rookie. Personally, I do like this gun quite a bit. I think that it is a fun weapon to play with. However, you might disagree with that, since you might like a different type of weapon a bit more. I think that the gun is a little on the strong side, it's a little unbalanced in my opinion, but not nearly as much as all of the other zombie weapons in the game. I do think that this weapon is currently the worst zombie weapon which you can purchase with zombie knights in the shop. But it is the cheapest zombie weapon at 150 zombie knights, and the average cost of a zombie weapon right now is 320 zombie knights. So this weapon is a lot cheaper. Another thing that I like about the post rookie is that it's immediately unlocked at level 1, and I also really like how this gun looks. The sounds and animations though aren't really anything special. But anyway, thank you so much for watching this video, I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you thought of it with a like or a dislike and some feedback in the comments. If you want to support me, please consider subscribing, sharing this video on my channel with anyone who likes this type of content. That's it, that's all, bye.